Hello everybody and welcome back to MyAndyBuck.com. Today I'm going to show you a little trick with Google Sheets where you can set up a schedule for your homeschooler or for anything really. If you're a teacher, you want to set it up for your class. If you want to set it up for yourself when you go to work, just an easy way to create a schedule to keep everybody on task on a daily basis. So without further ado, here we go. In my previous showings, I showed you how to log into your Gmail account. So for this test, we're going to log into our Gmail account, go over here to these 9 dots. You'll see them right here in the corner. Go over to the 9 dots, and you will click on Google Sheets. Google Sheets is one of the coolest things. It's very much like Excel. I said that in my last video about Google Sheets. However, I now understand that a lot of folks don't use Excel as a spreadsheet, but they use it for other items. So we're going to go ahead and start a new Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to call this the homeschool schedule. What the heck? Homeschool schedule. All right. So one thing to keep in mind is all of these lines here that you see are never going to print. The only way that those print is if you have this, if you put borders around those lines. So this is never going to print. This is just to help you see how big the cells are. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our cells. You can move these cells and make them bigger or smaller. And in this case, we want to make, you can make these wider or narrower, okay? In this case, we want to make all of these cells consistent down through here because we want it to make it look nice. So we're going to click on this box right here in the corner, and we're going to say we want to make these to be about that big. And if you'll notice, all of the boxes got wider. So all of them got taller, I guess we should say. They didn't get wider, they got taller. So I also would like to spread all of them out just a little bit because when I write in these boxes, we're going to need a little bit more room. So we're going to spread this out to like right about there. Yeah, that ought to work. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to set the first bar here, this first section here, we're going to set up and we're going to make this, we're going to change these blocks. We're going to make them all black, okay? And then we're going to pick the one in the middle. So I need a column here that's going to be for, say, we'll just say math. And you know what? I'm going to go over one. So we're going to do day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. Okay. So that's going to be the length of our grouping because we want our entire homeschool week. So what I need to do is I need to change this black area here that I chose. So we are going to change this back. Or change this back to the normal color, which is no color. And we're going to now fill it with black. So the whole top is going to be black. Okay. Now, you want to pick maybe the middle box, and you don't have to do this if you don't want, but you can click the text color. And we're going to make the text color white so that it shows up on the black. And we are going to type week 1. So that takes care of that. And we can make that larger if we'd like. You can highlight that and make it, say, a 24 point. In size, and we can center that if you'd like, which I always like to center things. So we've got that. We've got that all set up. Okay, so we have our days there. I don't know that this line needs to be quite that thick because we're going to have a lot of other lines coming in. So we're going to put that make that just a little bit smaller. Okay. Now over here on this side here, we're going to choose what our subject is. So we're going to do math. Okay. And then we're going to leave 2 blocks open. I'm going to make this math one. I need to make this a little bit smaller because I don't need all this space taken up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose over here in this gray area. I'm going to right click and I am going to do row height, and I'm going to do custom. So I'm going to make this row height, say 20. See how I made that entire row not quite as tall as the rest of them because I don't need all this space. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to maybe make this maybe a light gray or something. So I've got kind of a heading there. Or maybe I'll make it a yellow. I like yellow. Yellow's pretty. Okay, let's go with yellow. So we've got a yellow going on there. So for math, let's say that your student is going to do pre-algebra. And oops, I need to do English, obviously. Pre-algebra. And let's say that they're going to do geometry. Okay, so you've got those 2 items there. And we can leave these areas blank, or you could type in what you want them to be. My wife happens to like to just leave them blank, and we'll get back to that in a minute. So, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to choose, let's say we do handwriting. Okay. And for handwriting, we're going to change this because this is another area that we want to do. So we're going to change the row height. Okay. And we're going to do custom. We're going to make that 20. So everything's normal. And we're going to make this yellow. Okay. Oops, picked the wrong one. Got to make it yellow so it matches. And then you'll go down here and you'll want to put in, grammar. Maybe is what they're going to be learning. I don't know. You can write this in handwriting if you want to or not. I always like to leave an extra one just in case you need to add something by hand after you print it out. So let's say we do another one. So we're going to do spelling, and then we're going to do science, and let's say we do history. Okay. Only you know how many of these that you actually need, but you can certainly customize it to do whatever you want. So row height, we're going to make this custom. We're going to make it 20. Okay, and we're going to make this entire row. So we're going to make this spelling. We're going to make this row height 20 also. And we're going to make it yellow here. So you can see it's really not that difficult. It's just a matter of moving things around. Now I am going to show you something that you're probably not going to know about. So give me just 1 second here and let me change this real quick so that you can see what I'm about to do. Because if you remember, I told you in the beginning, the lines that you see here will not print. So the only thing that's going to be printing is the yellow. You'll see a big yellow line that says science, and you'll see a big space beneath it. So it's kind of one of those things where I'm going to change this here to yellow. Okay, so we're all set there. So it's one of those situations where every one of these blocks, you want it to look like this when it prints. Now, whether you want it to look like that, over here, like where the math is, you probably don't want it to look like that. So here's what I'm going to show you how to do. You're going to just highlight the boxes that you want to block off, and you're going to just click this borders here. Okay, so you're going to click there, and that blocks all those off. Now you see how those lines got darker? Those lines got darker, so now you know that you can see those. And then we're going to go down here and do this one, and we're going to hit it. And then we can go down and do this one and choose it. And then we can go down here, this one, and choose it. And right here, choose that one. let's say for history, we got 2, just for the sake of argument. Okay. So now you have your week 1 schedule that you can print out. And you say, well, how do you print that out? Well, you can hit File and you can hit Print. So it will show you when it pulls up how that's going to look. And who wants that to be on 2 pages? That looks terrible. So we're going to choose over here on this, it defaults to landscape. We're going to choose portrait. Okay. So you'll see that the portrait level brings you all over here, and you'll see all of your lines are lined up. If you had more, they would run down even further, and you should be all set there. Now you can choose fit to width so that it fits all in one page, or you can fit normal 100%. If you look at my normal 100%, it's pretty, it would go off the page. So if you say, well, I really want those blocks to be bigger, you could do a couple of things here. You can change the margins to be narrow. So that'll pick you up another day, okay? And then you could actually go back and go fit to page, and that'll make it pretty close to what you want it to be. And then you can also kind of maneuver it around a little bit. Like, say, for instance, we don't need this much room over here on this side. So for these small headings, but you also need room to write. So you want to make sure that you don't skimp out on yourself on that kind of a thing. But you want to leave yourself enough room, and there's a little trial and error there. But once you get to that spot, you just hit next and it prints for you. It's a really simple way to create a schedule for anything that you want to do. And I really appreciate you tuning in. If you need anything at all, don't hesitate to holler at me. I'd be happy to help you with anything you need. Just comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. There's a lot of Google Drive and Google Docs and Google Sheets, Google Keep. There's all kinds of tutorials in here. And I'll tell you what, Google Drive is one of the greatest things that you can learn. If you can learn it, you can master a lot of things on a lot of different devices, because it does cross all devices. Thank you so much for tuning in to myindybuck.com.